And it has all the flavors I want in a Chex Mix too. So it really does feel like I'm eating Chex Mix, but with way less carbs. Hey everyone, Dave here, back in the kitchen, and I'm excited about today's recipe. We are going to make Keto Chex Mix, ? Now here's the deal. If you've been watching my channel for a long time, and there's a few who have, you would probably remember that I did some videos making Chex Mix back in the day, and we're gonna do that again, except now we're gonna try to make a keto option. So here we go, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. We're gonna do like a little spice blend first in a little bowl, if you wanted to follow along. And that's gonna be our first spice, smoked paprika. Now, those videos actually got tons of views. Chex Mix is an incredibly popular, Thanksgiving and Christmas snack. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder next. I've got granulated garlic. It's like the same thing. Actually, I'm gonna put it on this side so I don't forget what I've used. But this year I wanted to give an alternative option because if you are trying to follow keto strictly, you're gonna want your Chex Mix, but you're not gonna want to, eat 4 billion carbs, which generally is what happens when you eat Chex Mix. Next, you want 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Onion. Now you can add a ½ teaspoon of cayenne pepper if you like spice. I'm kind of a wimp, so I'm not gonna add the spice. Instead, I'm going to do not instead, because you have to do this even if you do the spice. You next want to add a ½ teaspoon of chili powder. Now, and if you want just normal Chex Mix, I've got, I think, 3 Chex Mix videos on the channel, maybe 4. I've got a lot. And they're all delicious. There's a smoked one that's like my special recipe. That's my favorite. But also, we did a couple others as well. What Google thought was the world's best Chex Mix, what ChatGPT thought was the best Chex Mix. We've got the best sweet Chex Mix. So if you're in a non-keto lifestyle, there's tons of videos for you for that. But this one might be a better option if you're trying to lose the weight because, it's gonna be low carb and delicious. So strap in. I mean, that'd be kind of interesting if your couch had a strap, like a seatbelt on it. I mean, I don't fall off my couch that much, but we got these new puppies and they keep jumping off the couch and they're like this big, little chihuahuas. And they don't understand, who looks at the edge of the couch? Because, okay, for us, looking at the edge of the couch, it's like 1.5 feet off the ground. For these chihuahuas, it's like looking at the Grand Canyon and they're just like, whee, jump. They're like lemmings. I don't know. They're not very smart, chihuahuas. Cute though. Next, ½ teaspoon of ground mustard. Actually, it says mustard powder. Is that the same as ground mustard? That's what I have, so that's what we're gonna use. Oh, it's not even open. I think I have an open one. ½ teaspoon of ground mustard. Like so. Yeah, I'll be excited if this works because I absolutely love Chex Mix, hence the millions of Chex Mix videos on my channel. So if I could find a keto option, that would be awesome. So there's a ½ teaspoon of the mustard powder. Now we need a ¼ teaspoon of the black pepper. I have been trying to release some other types of recipes too for you guys. Some people were, complaining too much keto, Dave, do other stuff. Some people hate almond flour. Almond flour is a key ingredient in a lot of the keto stuff I've been making. So I did some carnivore recipes that either I've released or will be released soon. So you can check those out. ¼ teaspoon of black pepper. I'm trying to give, videos for all types of dietary lifestyles, not just stick to only one thing. But I do have some really interesting cottage cheese keto stuff coming too, so make sure you're subscribed. There's a ¼ teaspoon of black pepper. It also says a ¼ teaspoon of celery salt, and I don't know if I have that. Yeah, see, all I have is celery seed. I don't think it's the same thing. Let me look it up. No, it's not the same thing. All right, well, whatever. We don't need the celery salt. If you have it, you can add it. I don't know if I want celery in my Chex Mix anyways. Kind of weird. All right, now we're gonna take all our Chex Mix ingredients where normally you'd use cereal. Can we really call it Chex Mix if there's no Chex cereal? Maybe not, but we're gonna call it that anyways. I'm gonna use Mega Bowl for this. In the Mega Bowl, we're gonna put our various ingredients. The first thing is pork rinds, a staple. A staple in keto cooking, carnivore cooking, is pork rinds. And so they'll be a good carrier for all our Chex Mix seasoning, although it only wants a ½ cup of them. I'm so strong. ½ cup, that does not seem like much. Maybe I gotta break them up a little. That's like 3 pork rinds. Yeah, I just asked ChatGPT, because guys, I get my recipes from ChatGPT. I'm no pro cook. I need help, I need help when it comes to cooking. And ChatGPT, which has been wrong more and more and more lately, it's getting very bad. And they've said that it would get bad over time. It's like an AI program, but it's literally getting worse and worse. I mean, I think you're gonna need to double this. I just asked it to make a larger recipe, but if you're gonna make this at home and want it to be like a Chex Mix yield, you're gonna need to double it again. This is still gonna be too small. Anyways, bigger recipe, 1½ cups of pork rinds, which again, still seems way too small. We can break them up a little bit, but I'm pretty sure for a Chex Mix recipe, you need 3 cups of each style of Chex cereal. So obviously 1.5 is gonna be a tiny yield. I also just realized that by asking ChatGPT, I'm breaking them up a little bit because they're so big. By asking ChatGPT to increase the amount of like dry ingredients, I'll probably need to increase the spices as well. But anyways, let's do this first. It then says a cup of almonds, salted almonds. Which is a lot of almonds. Chex Mix was never a cheap thing to make, I will say that. That is a lot of almonds. If I mentioned that's a lot of almonds. Now we want to do a cup of walnuts. I don't know, guys, it's keto. Even though it's keto, it's still gonna have some carbs. It's not like a 0 carb thing, because I think walnuts have, yeah, they have carbs. So you gotta be careful when eating the nuts out of this. 1 cup of walnuts. We want 1 cup of cheddar. Which one is it? This is the best I could get. Cheddar crisps. I got parm crisps, but they're not parm. They are 4 cheese. Parm or whatever. They're not cheddar. I failed there because I couldn't find any cheddar ones. They were all sold out, but that's all right. This is like a mix of 4 different types of crisps. Oh gosh. 1 cup of those. That's like the whole bag. And we'll do this too. 1 cup of the parmesan ones. I do like these. These are good. For that reason alone, I can't increase the yield any further because I just used all my parm crisps. But this is 1 cup of keto chips, like tortilla chips, protein chips or whatever. These are nacho cheese. It does call for nacho cheese, which I think is gonna be like the whole bag again, yeah. And that's the Quest ones, those are good. I might break those up a little too, because they're kind of big for a Chex Mix experience, there we go. And then it says 1 cup of keto-friendly seasoned crackers. And I ordered these online, they're called Keto Naturals almond flour crackers. I guess these have almond flour too, so if you don't like almond flour, don't do this. Do cheddar and onion, rosemary and garlic, or sea salt. I think do cheddar and onion so it'll stay in the same flavor profile of a cheesy kind of Chex Mix. 1 cup of those. Yeah, I mean, you could do multiples. You could do all 3, because I got it in like a 3-pack on Amazon. You could do all 3 of those in there too, if you wanted to. It says 3/4 cup pepitas or sunflower seeds. I got some pepitas. I don't even know what that is really. I mean, it's a nut. Clearly it's a nut. That would be nutty for me to think anything else, but does it say it's from a pumpkin? Roasted and salted pumpkin seeds. Ah, cool. Yeah, so all my ingredients did go up on the seasoning mix. I need to add to my seasoning mix. Now, what did I have before as far as everything goes? So maybe I'll just double it. And I doubled like everything. So I'm gonna just do this whole thing again, the seasoning mix, and I'll be back when I'm done. So what I did before, just double it. I know it doesn't make it easy for you guys. I'll put the final recipe in the comments below for you. So this is kind of what I mean, guys. I just doubled my spice recipe, and as I was doing it, I was like, almost like scratching at the back of my brain. Gross visual picture there. Of like, hold on, aren't you supposed to have Lawry seasoning salt in Chex Mix? Like, I've made this enough to know that that's a staple in Chex Mix. And ChatGPT, when I asked it to create like the world's best keto Chex Mix recipe, it didn't include it. And so I just asked it, I said, hey, this is normally an ingredient in Chex Mix, why don't you have it? And I'm telling you, this is becoming the most common response from ChatGPT. You're right, I was incorrect. So it's making the channel more fun because honestly, it just fails so often. It says you should add seasoning salt. 2 teaspoons of it, apparently. So I'm glad I caught that. I'm glad I caught that because I want it to really taste like Chex Mix. I don't want it to be like some keto, completely different thing. I want it to be a keto Chex Mix that tastes like Chex Mix, that feels like Chex Mix, that smells like Chex Mix. Wait, what other savory or senses are there? And then of course, the staple, guys, Worcestershire. Now here's the thing with this. It has some carb. It has 1 teaspoon is 1 carb. This is calling for 3 tablespoons, which would equate to 9 teaspoons, meaning 9 carbs in the Worcestershire. Obviously, you're not gonna eat this whole yield or this whole recipe, but there is 9 carbs in the Worcestershire. Like it, I've really gone wild on how I say that now. So we're gonna do 3 tablespoons of that. Now, ChatGPT tells me there's ways online to order sugar-free of this sauce, whatever you wanna call it. I couldn't find it, but if you guys know, let me know. Now I'm just adding that into my spices. I don't really know if I was supposed to do it that way, but that's what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna heat up some butter, which I have a stick right here. How much do I need? 1/2 cup, is that a whole thing? I always forget. Yeah, it's a whole thing. So a whole thing of butter gets melted. All right, so we've got melted butter here. Oh my gosh, it's like congealing or whatever. I'm gonna put that all in with the butter and mix it all together. That's gonna be our seasoning dump. This is a lot of seasoning. This is a bold version. If you watch my other Chex Mix videos, you know I like it extra seasoning-y. You could probably safely cut the seasoning in half. Put all that in there. I guess I probably should have heated up my oven to 250 or whatever, which is standard. All right, so mix all our seasonings up. And then I'm assuming we're gonna dump them onto the dry stuff. All right, so we get all our dry stuff here, get it there, and then we just start seasonifying it. I mean, this isn't a super low carb, but it is low carb. It's a much lower carb than normal Chex Mix. This is what we all wanted, low carb Chex Mix. I'm gonna take a good picture of this because, like, I think it's more fun to have AI make the picture and make it look all amazing. And then, you know, I try my best to cook it the way AI imagines it, but I don't think it's gonna be able to imagine. How can it imagine Keto Chex? Could try. All right, so we're just loading up the this is a lot of seasoning. I can see already that we're a little seasoning heavy, but in a good way. Uh-oh, pork rind went flying. Rogue pork rind. My dog will eat it. There's no doubt. That's like one of the best things about dogs. You don't ever need a vacuum. You know, the dogs are there, they're ready. Ready and willing to lick the food off the floor. All right, so now we got all that together. We're gonna need to put it in a big pan. With Chex Mix, it's always good to have a nice big pan because you gotta like mix it a few times. Dump it all out into there. Catch all the stray stuff that's at the bottom here because there's quite a bit of it. And then spread it out on the pan. Again, like I thought, it's not a very big yield. You could totally double this if you're trying to make it for a family or something. But, you know, maybe just for yourself, this is enough. And you're gonna have to be careful with your serving size. 250 degrees into the oven. All right, so look at me cleaning. I'm so responsible. Okay, so we're gonna put it in there 40 minutes total, maybe 50. We're gonna stir it every 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll be back to try it. I know some people do keto different. Some do net carb, some do like full-on carb count. The net carb's in a serving, which is gonna be a half a cup. So basically when it's all done, you can take your little half cup, fill it up, and that's a serving, technically. Now, you know, me, I'd probably do a cup. That's probably about a good serving, you know, but who knows? I've also been the guy who's had a quarter cup of pistachios fill me up sometimes if I'm doing good. But a half a cup of this Chex Mix, supposedly with all those spices and everything when it's done, should be around 200 calories and 4 to 5 carbs. Net carbs closer to 3 for a half a cup. So 1 cup would be 400 calories and maybe 6 carbs. So that's a pretty hearty little snack and pretty low carb. But let's see if it actually tastes good or like Chex Mix. We're gonna find out in a few minutes. We'll be back. All right, guys, Keto Chex Mix are done. They're cooled, they're ready to eat. I definitely loaded up the seasoning. I think I probably went too hard, but I haven't tried them yet. I was waiting for you. Should I try I'm gonna try like a piece of each thing. Oh, hey now. That tastes like the Cheez-Its in my Bold Chex Mix recipe. Oh, I am pleasantly surprised. Let's try a pork rind. Oh, so good. That's really good. Pork rinds are, Then the nuts. Wow, that's really good. Holy crap. Oh, this is dangerous. I love this. This honestly, if you were to say, hey Dave, here's Chex Mix, here's this Keto Chex Mix, which one do you choose? I'd be like, don't matter. They're both just as good. Literally, that's as good as my keto or my normal Chex Mix recipe. And it has all the flavors I want in a Chex Mix too. So it really does feel like I'm eating Chex Mix, but with way less carbs. You know what's cool? I just had a bite with a bunch of different pieces instead of just one at a time. And there's like a much wider depth of flavor than with normal Chex Mix because you have unique things like these cheddar crisps or parm crisps, and the walnuts are actually really good. I'm kind of blown away. I'm blown away by how good this is. I think you should try it. If you love Chex Mix, we have uncovered and cracked a delicious homemade Chex Mix that is keto friendly for you guys for the holiday season. Watch this, send it to your friends, bring it to your holiday party. Everyone's gonna love it, including you. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe if you enjoyed this. I appreciate everyone who's hanging out with me. Bye-bye.